Good evening, and welcome to Inside Music's Outsiders. I'm Miles Stouthammer. Tonight we delve into the industry's up-and-coming, well-established, legendary newcomers, Mr. Johnny Horrific. Let's begin, shall we? Welcome, Mr. Horrific. May I call you Johnny?
No. Just rising your berries, man. Johnny will be fine.
Okay, Johnny. You have been selling out arenas, and in this day of economic decline in the music industry, your recent album has topped the charts in 13 countries and Canada. To what do you attribute your sudden rise in popularity?
Just keeping it real, man. Doing what Johnny does. I'm a very blessed man, and I'm humbled by the adulations bestowed upon me by my people.
Well, that being said, why do you think it has taken the public almost 34 years to discover your unique brand of entertainment?
I don't know. Sometimes things just have to ripen on the vine.
Melvin Jonathan Horowitz was born into poverty circa 1952. The only son of a carnival barker and a seamstress, Johnny was birthed in a tobacco field on the outskirts of a small mining town. Johnny spent his formative years surrounded by an eclectic mix of carnival folk and performers. It was at this early age that young Johnny acquired a taste for the spotlight.
Growing up, we were poor, but rich in spirit. The Connies treated me like one of their own and taught me all the tricks of the trade. I did it all. Running the tilt-a-whirl, spinning cotton candy, to shoveling shit.
What was family life like growing up in that environment?
My mother was a saint. She worked her fingers to the bone. But my dad, he drank and gambled. He drank and gambled every cent she ever made.
It was on Johnny's 12th birthday when his extended circus family pulled their limited resources to buy him a gift that would change his life forever.
They gave me the sweet accordion. It was like beaten up, missing a few keys, but man, that became my prized possession. They would ask me to play around the campfire while I was dancing and singing. It was a beautiful thing.
Was it at this point when they started paying you to perform during the show?
Yeah, it was playing around the backup music for the main acts, but at 17, I put a little combo together.
Was this the catalyst for your departure from the circus?
I knew it was time to bring it to the people.
And bring it to the people he did. On his 18th birthday, Johnny quit the circus and hit the road. With his ragtag group of musicians in tow, Johnny knocked on doors up and down the Mississippi.
I cashed in a few favors, contacts from the circus days, getting any gig we could, from church picnics to any juke joint that would have us. We were barely scraping by. We were ready to cash it in.
Is that when you got the call from Cecil?
Yeah, Cecil the lobster boy. He retired from the circus and opened a little hole-in-the-wall club called the Conch Shell. It had a makeshift recording studio in the back, and we recorded a few tracks.
Unfortunately, only one track survived after a fire of undetermined origin resulted in the total loss of the establishment.
After the fire, we needed a change. We pulled our resources together, bought a bus, and headed north to the Windy City.
Muncie, Indiana?
The Chicago scene was something else. Things are really happening in those days. A club on every corner and a skirt in every seat. Yeah, we even experienced snow for the first time.
So it was wine, women, and song.
Yeah, as my good friend Arthur Fonzarelli would say, exactamundo.
You played the circuit several years and had a small but loyal following.
Yeah, a few people dug our vibe.
At what point, as the lyrics say, did it all go topsy-turvy?
Well, Sticks, his old
Your
lady.
drummer?
Yeah.
Your drummer?
Yeah. His old lady started bringing the artsy crafty people around, and they were into a whole kind of different trip.
Meaning,
Smack. Well, the junk entered the scene. Man, shit really hit the fan. Always chasing the dragon. And things went downhill from there.
Tragedy struck the band when Willie. Ma, come on! Tonight's program would not be possible without suckers like you. Please consider becoming a WWTF member by contributing what's little more than a cup of coffee a day.
We'll rejoin Miles and Johnny soon, but right now, we ask you for your support so we may continue to bring you quality programming such as Inside Music's Outsiders and Are You Being Serviced? Johnny's life has taken him on many interesting journeys, much like the programming here on WWTF. To continue bringing you fine quality programming, we need your help. We have plenty of court-ordered volunteers standing by right now to take your calls.
With a bronze membership, you will receive a WWTF tote bag made out of 100% recycled ideas. For a contribution of $136.50, you become a silver member and will receive the tote bag and this 8-track cassette of Johnny's groundbreaking album, Breaking Ground. And with your generous donation of $407.69, you will become a gold member and receive not only the tote bag and the 8-track cassette, but a copy of tonight's program with 61 seconds of exclusive footage never before seen by anyone but the FBI and a few crooked IRS agents.
And what brings you here today, love?
It's either here or 3 weeks in a county jail.
Right then. And, oh, just never mind. And how about you, love?
You said they'd be Danish.
Very well. And we are very honored to have with us the only living relative of Mr. Horrific.
Joe Todd Doe-Free Horrific III, and I'm honored to be here.
All right, and back to you. And we'd like to spend a few minutes with Mr. Joe Todd Doe-Treve Horrific III. Well, tell me, what was it like growing up horrific?
Well, Johnny, he was good to me. He taught me how to noodle. You know what noodling is?
I'm sure I have no idea.
Noodle is when you go in the pond and you stick your hand down in the water and you grab that catfish and you pull them up out of the water and then you beat it over the head with a baseball bat and then you fry it up and have it for dinner.
Well, that's quite graphic. Back to you.
I remember meeting Johnny at the state penitentiary. But we had a kinship, if you will, of music, and oddly enough, dominoes. It was very interesting.
I know those phone lines are really lighting up, but if you do get a busy signal, please try. Try again, please. We really need the money. And without further ado, let's get back to music's that was so close.
Johnny re-emerged after a long hiatus in 1965 as a troubadour of the people. Still stricken with grief after the death of his longtime bandmate, Willie Chambers, Johnny turned inward for inspiration.
Johnny, you were missing from the public eye for almost 8 years. Can you shed a little light on what you did on your time away?
My heart was heavy, man. I journeyed into the desert to go into a spirit quest. I needed to deplete my body and expand my mind. After I got my shit together, I moved to the village. I started writing again and got a gig.
Was that at the Old Port Folk Festival?
Right on. And I started to reconnect with the people.
Johnny scored a minor hit with the counterculture anthem Hold Your Ground and got the attention of producer Phil Spectacle.
Everyday people take pictures of my mind. Reflections in the waters of the fountains in the park as people go by. Horses pulling carriages and people with hot dogs in their hands. Stand up, my neighbors, against the man.
Phil took Johnny into the studio, thinking he had found the next big thing.
I didn't dig the whole corporate vibe. Canned songs, and worse than that, canned musicians. Just wasn't my thing.
So the only collaboration with Mr. Spectacle was the single Sunshine Vibe.
Yeah, man. One and done.
Hey, miss, how do you do? How about me and you getting along? Hey, let me whisper into your ear. I love you, dear, and that can't be wrong. And when I saw you,
With the emergence of bands such as Iron Moth and Shallow Purple, Johnny got back to his roots, playing a heavier version of the blues he grew up with. Johnny released a string of albums in the 70s that went largely unnoticed. Hindered by his dependence on hard drugs and alcohol, Johnny spent the remainder of the 70s in relative obscurity.
living forever, soon you will see. Isn't all it's meant to be? Living with guilt in all of my sins. Keep on dragging me down to the end.
You really seem to come into your own on albums such as 12-Step Blues and my favorite, The Sinister.
Yeah, musically, it was all falling into place. I started playing for me again. Unfortunately, it took a while for people to smell what I was cooking.
Well, those albums are now considered classics, with original printing selling for tens of dollars.
Yeah, better late than never.
People don't see what I see when I look at you. It's a sweet little secret for me. All those things you do when you jackal.
Which brings us to today. How did M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong come to put your song, Medication Time, in his movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo Clock?
Yeah, dude saw my video on YouTube, and he wanted to put it in his movie.
Which reignited your career?
Like a rocket ship to the moon.
Quite.
Quiet my brain, quiet my nerves. Give my brain? Quiets my nerves.
So now that your career is back on track, is Melvin Jonathan Horowitz finally happy?
Like a tick in a coon dog's ear. Cut.
Meditation time makes me feel fine. Medication time. Lights out at 9.
Medication time. Medication time. Please report to the nurse's station.
Quiet my brain.
If you enjoyed this program and want to contribute more than your taxes already do, you can become a WWTF member. Becoming a WWTF member ensures ad nauseum repeats of classic British sitcoms and quality local programming. Tonight's broadcast was brought to you in part by Crystal Clear Solutions, clouding your mind since 1972.
Northwoods Timber Company. We've got wood.
And
Archer Middleton Bradley. Today's problems for tomorrow's solutions.